Hello everyone, it's Diego here, and today is my very first ever ghost story. And this is the story of Jackson, the ghost Allegheny. Back in 1941, the first ever prototype of the Chesapeake and Ohio Alleghenies was built. And that was Chesapeake and Ohio 1600. And his name was Jackson. Jackson is a really strong engine, and was the first ever engine of the Chesapeake and Ohio Alleghenies. Unlike his little brother Calvin, Jackson was always ready for anything. One day, Jackson was sent to pull a freight train to San Antonio. His driver and fireman were ready for the day, and Jackson was getting ready to pull his freight train. He was coupled up, and they started their journey. Jackson was making progress, although he didn't know that up ahead there would be trouble. But we all know that some engines pull very fast. Up ahead, Jackson was approaching the haunted railroad tracks, which we will get to that later. Up ahead, a school bus was going to cross the railroad tracks, and it was really late at night. But then, they were stalled on the tracks. They didn't know what to do. Jackson was already pulling his freight train. He was really trying to make up the lost time. Jackson was happily pulling his freight train. He decided to blow his whistle. All the other kids were frightened. Jackson then realized that there was trouble up ahead. They tried to stop him, but it was too late. Jackson was coming down the line so fast. By this moment, everything happened all at once. Jackson hit the school bus and it went flying into the grass. Jackson was undamaged, but he was seriously hurt and very sorry for what he accidentally did. After the accident, Jackson was later to pull another freight train back to the C&O. He was coupled up to the freight train and ready. And he departed. And he departed without another word, except for something else. Jackson approached the haunted railroad tracks. But then, instead, there was no other bus, but there was another freight train up ahead. Jackson knew that there was trouble up ahead. He was shocked. Jackson blew his whistle, tried to get everybody out of the train before it was too late. But it was no use. Jackson already knew he was going to crash. He blew his whistle loud and long, trying to get others to get off the line. But by then, everything happened all at once, and it was too late. The collision was brutal. Jackson slammed straight into the caboose, and the train went flying off the tracks. Cars were totally damaged and fallen off in pieces. Coal was everywhere, falling out of the hoppers. Some cars were even blocking the track, or even the road. There was even a huge fire from all of this. And this was also an accident. This accident was known as a manslaughter. There was a huge fire, and the fire department was called, and they had to put it out. After the accident, Jackson's body was found, but it was damaged beyond repair and sent for scrap. After the accident, Jackson returned Jackson's spirit was later returned. But when he found out that he was scrapped and known as San Antonio's brutalist steam locomotive, everything was gone and Jackson snapped. And because of all the people bullying him, he is now known as Jackson the Ghost Allegheny. And if you ever walk down the haunted railroad tracks, we all know that the ghost of the children will push your car and you'll see their handprints if you put baby powder. But when you're at 3 a.m., do not. Because you will hear the whistle of Jackson, the Ghost Allegheny. And what kind of whistle does he use? Like all ghost engines, he uses Norfolk and Western 1218's hooter whistle, which sounds like this. If you ever hear that whistle, beware of Jackson, the Ghost Allegheny.